you have to get used to operating in what I call the gray zone. So the gray zone is more like a mental state where what you're doing doesn't seem particularly, shiny or attractive. It's just like the menial tasks that you have to get done in order to accomplish whatever, right? Like elite athletes, a lot of their work, you just see the glitz and the glam when they're competing at the Olympics, when they're winning the trophy, when they're scoring the goal, but you don't see the menial everyday tasks that they have to work on to get there, to become the best in the world. The tiny drills, the footwork drills, the first touch drills, just all those tiny little drills of the little things that nobody even thinks of, and doing that every single day for hours a day. And of course, there's times where you show up to practice and you're super excited and it's like, yeah, let's do this. Like, this is the sport that I love. But there's times where you're gonna be like, man, like I don't really feel like drilling this thing that I've done a million times, but I have to do it again. And it's just like becoming present and just understanding that this task that seems so menial, by repeating this over and over and over again, that is what is making you elite. So it's just the way that you view these menial tasks, right? Because there's gonna be a time where you're kind of losing that motivation. It's like, man, like I've done this for the last, several months. It's kind of boring. But when it becomes boring, you have to shift the meaning. Like if I keep showing up and keep working this menial, boring task, that is what's actually gonna progress me towards elite. That's what's gonna progress me towards my goal. In business, it might be just the menial task of working on your product, of just improving your service delivery, of just looking at your statistics of, okay, how can I make this even better for my clients? If you're doing like a marketing agency, observing your ads. If you're doing any sort of service-based business, improving your sales process and just taking more sales calls, right? It's just doing the outreach, just sending outbound messages, cold calling, whatever it is that's getting clients in the door, just doing that more and more and more. It's very simple, but it's hard because it's boring. It's either scary or it's boring, right? Eventually it's just like, man, I have to do this again. Like it doesn't feel fun. You want to, watch a shiny new YouTube video about a new business model, but you need to just sit down and do the menial, boring tasks over and over and over again in order to become elite at whatever you're doing. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that and have that level of consistency with the boring, menial tasks is if you shift the way that you view them. Stop viewing them as boring and menial and just like not relevant, and start viewing them as like this action right here, as boring and insignificant as it may seem from the outside. This action is what's making me elite. And then the next moment, it's the same thing. It's this action. And it's like every single day, every single action, you're kind of like amplifying the meaning. So it goes from being a boring, trivial task to like this action right here. This is what is going to get me to where I want to go. And when you just do that over and over and over again, it's still kind of boring, but like there's a different layer of meaning. And that's gonna let you operate in what I call the gray zone, where you're just like in that zone where you're just operating. It's not fun. It's not like this crazy thing that you're doing. It's just like the simple little tasks that are building your future identity and your future life. So just keep that in mind, because that is how you actually get to where you want to go.